What kind of leaders led you from your towns to from your family to your clan to your village to your town to the entire nation? What kind of person led you? What are the activities? Even after the Civil War, how did you survive with 20 pounds each after they seized all your properties? Is this still the same nation that loved and cared for one another? That we take a stranger and train a stranger and establish a stranger, somebody they never knew. People that took pride in the number of people they established and made millionaires. People that built roads and mansions and town halls and all the developments through their social clubs, through age groups. One love and one peace, unity and peace clubs. Now we have a places where there are gangs and courts, where there are bandits and criminals, where people can no longer make an honest game. These are people that used to drive wicked and evil people, dishonest people out of the town and banish them forever or for years, depending on the kind of atrocity they have committed. Now they crown them as kings and crown them as leaders, and they crown them and elect them into positions of power. Who are you? Igbo people, who are you? It is a time for you to ask yourself, who am I? It's a time to examine your life and change your life for the God that you profess all the time. The end is coming. Just as I have professed and asked the same questions about our great country, United States, that has made a pact with God, that God has blessed them so much and they decided to drive God out of our land. So I speak to you, my people, where I was born today, to ask yourself, when you find out who you are and you decide to take a decision about it, then we will show you what your ancestors had done. All these people that you see, your governors and your leaders, why did they get a visa to come to America, go to United Kingdom? In America, we have RICO Act. We have Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. How did they accumulate their wealth for them to go to the embassy? How did the embassy not considering our law? If you don't know, find them, take them to court, take the Secretary of State to court and let them explain. How did these people get a visa to come to America? Allow the criminals in your own nation, begin from there before you talk about all the things going on in Nigeria. Begin with yourself to set an example why people beloved you. People did not love Obi because Obi is an Igbo man. They loved him because he had the qualities that made him who he is. If you return to who you are, God has made you, all the nations will come to you for counsel as he was before ever anybody set foot out of that continent into that particular part of the country, the nation. If that after all these years that they were suffered because of what you stand and stood for in the in 18th century, late 18th century or early 19th century or late 19th century, whenever that they set foot over there. Before then, you were all over. Go down to Sabongeri, you will find Igbos. Anywhere, Port Harcourt, you find Igbos. Everywhere you find Igbo. In Lagos, you find Igbo. Everybody were doing fine everywhere before the conquest. And then today, everywhere you are still doing fine and you're doing well, but yet people can't stand you and can't hate you, can't understand you. People always have an issues with a lot of you. Why this may be as a result of their own envy, but then why did they not envy you? Envy is inhuman. It is a sinful act, a very grievous sin. But you must ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? What makes me an Igbo man? And then if you suffer for being an Igbo man, then you know you suffer for righteousness. And then you see how your God will defend you. For this, God does not change. The God our ancestors is the same God we serve today. You hear the word that comes from my mouth as a prophet of the Almighty God, and you see them happen. There are thousands of them already. Not a single one has failed. For the Lord declares, God will declare his word out of whom that is righteous, that in whom that he lives. For God cannot live in one that is not holy and righteous. For the holy and righteousness of God is acting and draws unto one that is holy and righteous. No one who is unholy and unrighteous can see God or be with him. He cannot mix together. A lot of people profess to be righteous and profess to be holy, to profess to accept God and accept Christ in their life, but their behavior is unworthy of somebody that's called a child of God. They are like Christ in the day before when everybody's looking, but once nobody's looking, they become the wolves of the night, running from one evil altar unto another. That is not the way of the Igbos. You know who you are. You are known by your conduct, by your character, and you are hated by it too. They can do anything to you, and nobody can do anything to you. So begin the mindset of the people. In the book of Numbers, in chapter 16, you hear about Korah. Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, with all the other people, like Dathan and Abiram, the 250 leaders of Israel, when they challenged Aaron and Moses as their leaders, Moses commanded the ground to open his mouth and swallow all of them. And so it was. And I'm not asking you to boast in my power, but in the power of the Almighty God. And I ask you, all these things has been going on for so long. We ask you to now try something else. You can't be doing the same thing. I expect a different result. Try something else and make a change and begin to do. Then let us call upon that God in heaven and ask him and see whether God will not answer you, as you saw in Elijah before. Here there are people. Call on the God of the Baal. You call Baal. Let him come and take the sacrifice and see he will. And then we will call on the God in heaven and see if he will. If he will come to deliver you. People did not believe that the people of Israel were delivered out of Egypt. Maybe no one need to be shown again for the world to believe today.